So you disagree with Astrid, who says, just like you can't turn a hoe into a housewife, you can't turn a fuckboy into a husband.
Quote of the night.
You disagree with that, though. You think you can turn a fuckboy into a husband, hence you being a husband.
Burn. Just fucking incinerated.
Jesus Christ.
I'm
not talking about me.
That wasn't.
He
don't
was
don't take that
just
to heart.
joking
You talk a lot about how
Pat.
you used to play.
Come on.
You used to be quite the player.
You're right. I get sensitive.
Come on,
I've been
man.
loyal to my wife, Cherie, mainly because she's black and she'd stab me in the throat while I slept.
Oh, hi, hello, and welcome to another brand spanking new episode of another Bachelor podcast. My name's Dylan. I'm saddled up next to one real Nicholas Davis. What's wrong with you?
I'm kind of sick. Let's get through this. We can do it.
Are you a little under the weather?
I don't want to go out and feel these lymph nodes.
No! I don't want to feel your lymph nodes. I don't even want to be this close to you right now. Patrick is the producer of the podcast. He's behind the glass. Where I wish you were.
Hi, guys. How are
I
you?
can't get sick. Okay, this is how this night's going to go. We have, as you know, 5 hours of content to cover. Tonight, we're going to cover the first episode of this here podcast.
It did turn out to be 4. I was wrong a couple weeks ago.
Oh, really?
I don't know if you remember that.
I do, and I was really happy when it was only 4.
Yeah. And
Well,
I apologize for disagreeing.
so as you guys know, we have 4 hours of podcast to cover. But tonight, we're going to cover the first episode of the week and cover some scoops. Because, boys, what a couple news days we've had. Pat, let's go right into it. Bump, bump, bump.
PMZ! Bum, bum, bum.
This is crazy. We're starting a show with
We're
PMZ.
starting a show with PMZ.
A seminal moment on another Bachelor podcast.
Absolutely. You're never going to grow if you don't take risks.
Okay.
Pat,
Hey.
what's your first scoop?
Oh, okay. Dylan. So let me give some context here. We're recording this on Wednesday, all right? And so the audience needs to know everything that we're going to talk about on this episode later on is within the context of basically breakups and shit that happened after the final episode of this season.
Of course.
So here we go. So let's get into Jenna and Jordan. A lot has transpired since that final episode. Now, Jordan, I believe, not to get ahead of myself, but I can't help but get ahead of myself. Jordan and Jenna, while they sat across from that shitface Chris Harrison, announced they were so in love that in 1 year's time, they would be married on the next season of Bachelor in Paradise. I liked that move a lot when they said that because they're trying to stay relevant through an entire year. All right?
June 9th,
June 9th.
2019.
Now, apparently, things transpired.
You're really burying the lead here.
oh, yeah,
aren't
The
you,
year of
Pat?
our Lord.
That's 001, right? Or 00?
Any year. It's the year 2019,
Gotcha.
the year of
Hey,
our Lord.
Pat.
Yeah, all right, so let me get to the story. So, Reality Steve, who we hate, but he breaks a lot of stories.
Yes, he does.
All right, so here, let me break this down, because there's a lot going on here. Apparently, Jenna has had a boyfriend or a guy that she's not been treating that well. We don't know. But what we do know is that he's pissed off at Jenna and decided to flip on her and actually send some communications that he's had with her to Reality Steve. And in these texts that he sent Reality Steve, basically Jenna in the conversations is saying, I never was really into, I don't even like Jordan, never mind love him. I'm just with him basically for Instagram followers and fame.
I'm better than him, quote unquote.
Real mean shit. Like I knew she was a dummy and a pill popper, but I had no idea that she was this cunning.
A sociopath.
Sociopathic. So Reality Steve broke this story. Jordan, if you look at his social medias, immediately deleted all his pictures with Jenna. Not only that, but made the announcement. I believe I have a quote from him. He said he's breaking up with Jenna. He can't take a chance with his heart at this point. So they are done. So everything that we saw in the episode is kind of, well, I guess is all for nothing.
Now, Pat, I wonder, I don't know if you guys think that it is worth, man, your virus it's setting in already.
Get through it.
I think, no, this is a democracy in this room, but it might behoove us to read her entire statement about him. Let's go to a vote. 1, yay. 2,
My vote is dependent on how long it will take us to find this text.
3.
Yay.
I'll filibuster.
All right,
So,
yeah, just give me 1
listen,
second.
I think it's so funny. I read this People magazine article about this whole thing.
Is he looking for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I read this People magazine article on this scandal, and it was so serious. It read like a freaking Woodward article. You know, they only used last names. Like Kimball alleges that Cooper misled him. But I do want to say this has now canted our angle with which we will view these last 2 episodes. Jenna is doing something unprecedented. This is a level of, and we throw this word around a lot, but this is a level of sociopathy that we haven't seen on this show quite yet. This woman,
At least not uncovered. Some people may have been playing this role
Perhaps, yeah.
and gotten away with it.
but Jenna's deceit is so it's so unbecoming because she comes off as this bird with a broken wing, this quirky, vulnerable girl who is unsure of herself. But this entire time, she has been lying to herself, to Jordan, and America for weeks, living this fake fucking life.
Dylan, I blame production and casting on this for this show. If you look at deep into the bios of what these people really do, they're all aspiring actors or want to be famous. And I have to tell you, it's been a real turn in the last 6 years. People basically, the Robbies of the world, the Amanda Stantons showing up there, they're not here for love. They really are, they've seen a roadmap to basically selling tummy tea, becoming famous, and they're not really here for love. So, I mean, the fact that we're uncovering this, we're just seeing this, but I would say half the cast is probably has the same intentions as her. Maybe not to lie an entire relationship.
Right, they might have the same intentions, but they might not go to the lengths that she went to achieve that. I would disagree with you on one thing. I do not want people here who really want to find love. That's insane. Let's just have a good time. Pat, do you have the text?
I do. Here we are. Here we go. Right.
I should say it's not a text. It's a statement or Instagram post, whatever.
No. This would be a text to this so-called boyfriend or whatever, Jenna Tim. Me and Jordan aren't together for real. I don't even like him, let alone love him. I'm better than him, and once I'm able to, I'll break up with him and we'll make up some good story and it'll make will make him look bad. If it will make you feel better, he means nothing to me and never has. And that's supposedly sent to this. Now, I should point out, there are 2 sides to every story. She's saying the story's fabricated and those texts are fake. So, I don't know how... Reality.
How could they be fake if they came from your fucking phone?
Well, Reality Steve, I hope he did his due diligence before he went out with this story and actually checked and actually saw, screenshots of the guy's phone or whatever.
He really did say he confirmed it was Jenna Cooper's number.
Okay.
He tried to say he was thorough. I do... fuck that guy, though, anyways.
Yeah.
Can I read one more text from her that's pretty salacious?
Yeah.
This is in response to him. You always say that. You're always so busy, but you do always make time for me. Tonight I'm going to take all your stress away. I can't wait to put you in my mouth. It's going to get real kinky. I might bring a belt and whips and kick your ass. Maybe I'll dress up and dress you up, too. You better watch out. I'm coming for you. What a slut.
Jesus Christ.
I'm into it, but what?
I don't think you need to say slut.
Sorry.
Hey, you know who's not a slut, guys? All right, getting ahead of myself, but at the beginning of episode 2
Nick.
of the...
Go ahead.
Get
No,
that again.
I'm sorry. No, we don't need to get it. Just keep going.
Okay, at the beginning of episode 2 of the week, or the final finale, whatever, they announced that 35 cast members have graced themselves on this beach. I had no idea that number was there. It blew my fucking mind.
What do you mean grace themselves?
Grace the beach.
Oh, that the carousel of people in and out?
Correct.
Yeah, 35 blew my fucking mind,
If you
too.
would have told me 15, I would have said, yeah, that sounds about right.
Wow.
But anyway, it got me to thinking, especially when this story broke today with Jenna, you know who's not on that island? CN. That gorgeous black chick. Oh my God. She's not here to be...
Very eloquent, Pat.
God, But she wasn't on the show, and these losers are. Anyway, can I move on? I got another story.
Don't you dare.
Cien's had a boyfriend for quite some time, and he seems like quite the catch. So I think Cien, like I've said before, is a fame whore like the rest of them.
Okay, I'm going to lose my goddamn mind. Pat?
Next story. This is kind of...
Pat, what's your next scoop?
Okay, my next scoop kind of goes along with what we were just talking about there. Fans have been wondering why some of Bachelor's favorite contestant, Becca K, who I call Terry.
Becca M with a K.
Becca M with a K. Whatever her name is. Whatever. She wasn't on Bachelor in Paradise, and we finally have our answer because you're like, hey, where is that little...
that scoundrel Grayston impregnated her.
She's preggo. So Martinez is expecting a baby with her boyfriend, Grayston Leonard. This is a quote from her. I was just in a state of shock when I found out. I guess she announced this in a 6-minute video that was promoted by
these
Pure
people
Wow.
need to practice a little bit of brevity.
Like,
we don't need 15 minutes from you. I had a tough time saying the word minutes there. Pat?
Oh, I was going to say, she said, went on to say, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening.
My favorite quote from this discovery was a little insight into where Grayston's head, you can't even say that name, it's so dumb, where his head was at. Quote from the article, at first, Leonard was unsure about whether he was ready to be a father. Yeah, he wanted to get rid of it. He wanted to give the X-nay to the old...
Now, you texted me that, and I thought that you were jumping to conclusions.
I don't think this couple's lasting.
A lot of fathers aren't ready for their children.
6 months after this baby's born, they're not going to be together.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that they're going to... I thought you were saying that they're going to abort the child at 6 months.
Well, my final note on this, I don't understand why people are always in shock when they get pregnant. I mean, he threw his fucking salami dagger in you and dropped a load. I mean, that's what happens. I mean, it's at least a possibility. Why you're in shock?
That is what happens. What doesn't happen very often is people calling penises salami daggers. Hey, Pat.
Yeah.
What's your next scoop?
Okay. Reality star Amanda Stanton has been arrested and charged with domestic violence. Stanton, who starred on season 20 of The Bachelor and 2016's Bachelor in Paradise, was arrested after an alleged altercation with her boyfriend, Bobby Jacobs, at the Encore Hotel in Las Vegas on Monday. Officials said the Las Vegas police were called out at 3:15 in the morning for an altercation that was taking place. Apparently, when they arrived, Stanton, and here's the key word here, shoved her boyfriend. They deemed that as a assault, and she was arrested. A representative for Stanton, Steve Hong, said, and this is hilarious, well, it was a misunderstanding and a result of Stanton having too much to drink.
So let's do this. We've kind of tiptoed back and forth between Amanda Stanton being a terrible mother, a succubus, and a person with no value. Or a mother doing what she can to take care of those little crumb crunchers.
That was kind of my take, I'm not going to lie.
Can we put this to bed? Amanda Stanton is a bad mom.
Oh, not Dylan. You know I like to do a little digging. Okay, so I wanted to get down to the bottom exactly, her being an earner as a social media influencer and how much one person can earn. This show called Net Worth, this website called networth.com, I know some rich people that are famous, and they tell me that this site's pretty legit. Her net worth is $100,000. Dare I say, there's...
Who has told you that net worth is a legit website?
All
because
right,
I've literally every time it comes up when a celebrity's being talked to about it, they're like, that's bullshit. I wish I had that much money.
Well, they're lying to you. You never admit how much money you have. That's how you get people coming and ask you for a fucking loan. Let me just say I have 3 people.
I know that game.
3 people that say, yes, it's dead on.
Okay. Well, anyways.
I will say our relationship has moved from like true love to purely sexual after this little incident.
You and Mandy?
Yeah.
Well, our defense of Amanda Stanton will be taken behind the barn now. Do you guys remember us call back last episode? We were talking about I say that a lot?
I do.
Okay, let's move on to the episode. Guys, we start this episode off with couples in love. Astrid and Kevin, Kendall and Joe, Jenna and Jordan. But we know that when love is in the air and everything seems perfect, There's a storm coming. Now, a date card gets dropped, and we've called Asian John throughout the entire season, even though he is American, and there's really nothing Asian about him other than his features and heritage. But tonight, he does the most Asian thing he's ever done on this show. Pat, hit us with a clip.
Oh. Date card.
Oh! And
Nice.
he sounds like fucking Speed Racer. It sounds like an episode of Speed Racer, which, I don't know if you know, is Japanese.
I didn't.
Me neither.
Okay, he gets the date card, reads it off. Guess who gets it? Asian John says, American Jordan, you're up. And they head off to a photo shoot, that being Jenna and Jordan. This is a good date for Jordan because he was quote-unquote born camera ready. I was excited to get to this portion of the day because I wanted to ask you guys your opinion on the photographer, who was quite a silly goose.
I have thoughts.
Yeah.
All right, I'm cool with the flamboyant thing and dressing weird, but the full dyeing of the hair,
Right.
in this case, purple,
Yeah.
very distracting. I have a rule. You don't get to dye your hair past the age of 35.
Well, you dye your hair past the age of 35.
No, one of these freaky colors like red or pink
Oh, God.
or purple.
Specifically purple.
Yeah, because, maybe it works better for dark-skinned people, but white people, just the justification. What's the word? Justification.
Always fun when he tries to lay down this word. You got it.
The juxtaposition. You have tried to swing a bat at that ball
I can't
50
do it.
times.
I can't do it. All right. What I'm trying to say is these fucking bright fucking colors with your old rusted out fucking beaten down fucking skin. It's just off-putting. Like, leave the weird hair colors for young people with all that cosplay bullshit.
I completely agree.
I do think the photographer had deeper feelings for Jordan than Jenna did.
I would 100% agree with you. You're insinuating that he's a homosexual.
I only use the clues I've been given.
This fucking psycho bitch talks about being ready to get engaged, and how she talks about how she's nervous about being engaged. And weirdly, they get her into a fucking wedding dress.
That was part 2. So first was the engagement pictures, and then they move him into the wedding pictures. By
Yes.
the way, one note on this photo shoot. They are the most unphotogenic people I've ever seen in my life in these photos. When they were doing like the snapshots.
What are you talking about? That
No,
is
they were
such
both very
hyperbole.
awkward. Nothing seemed smooth or like they were in the moment. No, it was really weird.
It's almost like she has no feelings for him at all.
I thought Jordan did well on the photo shoot. I will say they did him a huge disservice giving him that ill-fitting suit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I thought he looked good. I thought he looked like Jordan, but I do agree. Get a freaking tailor in there, huh, guys? They get him and her in a tuxedo and wedding dress. As I said, this is so unbelievably bizarre, but even more bizarre is what this fucking nut job says about her relationship with him. I mean, this story breaks. We read the texts that she sends to the boyfriend she's had the entire time, and then you watch this show and you hear her talk about how much she likes him, how he makes her feel, how she's uncertain about whether or not she wants to get engaged. And while there is a little shred of truth to that, it comes off as though she's entertaining the idea of getting married to him. Not that she's uncertain because she's not going to. She's a filthy fucking lying sociopath.
Oh, you can say that, but I can't say slut. And I want to clarify about that slut. It's not because she's doing those acts in the bedroom. You go, girl. It's because she's doing those acts in the bedroom with another man while she's telling Jordan she's going to marry him on June 9th, 2019, the year of our Lord.
Great job.
Thank you.
Pat, do you have thoughts?
Yeah. On this date, I have to say it's the most lucid we'd ever seen her. And dare I say, I actually thought on some close-ups she looked pretty. She was always kind of trailer trashy to me. Like she's like a skinnier version of Anna Nicole Smith. But here, I was like, maybe she's balanced out the pills at this point. She's got a Xanax in the morning. Nick, you have a hot take?
I wouldn't know if it's a hot take exactly, but I think there's only so much room up your bun for those pills, and her stash may have ran out.
I am so jealous that you guys, you pull out hot takes like it's nothing. I just can't do it. Oh my God.
Yeah, so like I said, I think she's ran out.
Respect the game. Hey,
But I think her plug might be arriving later, getting ahead of myself. I think Robbie's on drugs.
oh my God, yeah.
My name's Robbie Hayes. You might know me from Bachelor in Paradise last summer or being runner-up on JoJo's season of The Bachelorette. But I'm probably most well-known for being Robert Hunter 89 on the social interwebs.
I think you're known for some other stuff. But,
Yeah, and also Robert Hunter 89, terrible handle. Terrible handle. I don't know how many followers you have. I don't care. It's a terrible handle.
However many you have, you would have more if you had a better handle.
Right.
Idiot.
True to form with him, though, just dropping that social media handle
Yeah.
right off the top. And they allowed him to do it.
Now, guys, we have talked in the past about how he looks like he has a little bit of a cocaine problem. And
Woo! Let's get into it.
I want to say that, at least in my mind, that has been upgraded to a major cocaine problem.
Also true to form, his pupils were dilated.
The skin around his teeth, mouth, and jawline looks like it's hanging onto a pole in a Category 5. His eyes are sunken into his face.
That could be the weight loss, which is also usually connected with
Yeah.
heavy drug use.
Yeah. I don't think that's cause and effect. I think those are both effects of the cocaine, which is the cause.
Yes, of course. So he is hopped up on cocaine and bounces around between every single girl on that island.
He pulled Jenna aside just to be like, I know you're already with Jordan, but hey, here's some pills.
She was like, I can't.
But give me those pills.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, I mentioned on the last episode that Asian John has nothing to do, and he's just here for camera time. He's also become kind of a mean girl. He says that the Ken doll beef is on, calling them both Ken dolls. Hey, Asian, we don't need your one-liners over there, pal.
It's been a bridge to just Asian.
I think Asian John might just be upset that he's never been represented by Mattel.
Good joke. Came off sarcastic, but I really do think so. Anyways, as aforementioned, he bounces around between all these ladies and lands on Miss Congeniality. Shoo, because everyone else hates him. Let's get to the night date.
Night date!
When he was deciding that he wanted to take out Shu, some of the other cast members were looking, observing it, and they're like, actually, these two weirdos might be good for each other. She's moved on from Camille. We know that because last week she threw his picture in the fire. Hot take, guys. I know you guys like hot takes. How about hot takes with a side of pun? I don't think she threw that picture in the fire. I don't think she burned that picture. I think production did it, and we just got cutaways. I just wanted to say that hot pun.
What's the pun?
Hot, fire.
Oh, no,
hot
God.
takes.
That counts still. I'm going to
my
defend that. Nick, I will say, though, I believe there were some witnesses because what did they wake up the next morning and see that burning, the photo burned there?
I think it got burnt, and production just, did you see Shoshana burnt it? Did you see Shoshana burnt it?
I was literally like, they're doing the witch thing with her, and I'm writing down notes, and I'm just like, I'm not even going to bring this up.
Yeah.
All right. So
I'm not even gonna
I thought
bring
about
this
this.
up.
Last season, it was scallop fingers for the last 3 episodes. This season's the witch. We get bored. They have to create something. This is when they know they're getting bored. They have nothing. They have to manufacture shit. Hey, Bachelor producers, get your shit together. Cut this down by 2 weeks and make it more entertaining.
Yeah, absolutely.
And put 1 episode a week so I can have some sanity.
Yeah, exactly. Stop it. Cut it out. Let's get to the night date. Yell it again.
Night date.
Whoa!
That was beautiful. I would love that going forward.
Oh, hey, this is a good time to mention the girl who left me a review because your husband or boyfriend, who's a jerk, doesn't listen to the podcast anymore. I mentioned you on the show twice now. You got some attention. Move that up to a 5. All right?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Freaking slice of hell.
You love that.
Okay. The witch and the warlock go on a date, and again, let's just talk about his cocaine problem. I have been around people who do not have enough uppers in their body or are coming down from uppers. Maybe
Wrong medium. I was nodding over towards the glass.
he doesn't do cocaine.
Hold on. I want to say this about this because I don't know people that do cocaine and I don't do cocaine. But one thing I will say about people that do cocaine a lot, their breath starts to smell a little bit and their body smells. It's something, especially when you're doing that low grade shit. But Shu notes that she loves the way that Robbie smells. Maybe it's Axe or something. I don't know. But
dude, he just like his energy. You can just tell that he's probably on Adderall on the island. But you can tell that he's coming down off of uppers and he's uncomfortable and he's anxiety ridden and he's uneasy. When the berries are falling, he's just like, yeah, let's just not talk about it. Another berry fell. Yeah, my glass, your glass. What's going on? He's just wonked out of his mind.
Good-looking people don't have they don't have to learn how to talk to other people too. So I'll say that is also a attributing factor to that. They don't know how to communicate. They just
Got it. Well, Shu's kind of a dummy. She says that now, she says that now, having sat down with him for what's probably 7 minutes, that he has 100% of her trust. Because, quote, why wouldn't he, is what he says?
Because of all the rumors swirling and his drug problem, you dumb girl.
You dumb witch.
Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice.
Oh, yeah, that's my segment, meanwhile. All right, so guys, as we're talking about stuff, there's multiple storylines going on, and I need to keep our baby birdies up to speed with what's happening while that date's
Feed
going
them, Pat!
All right, here we go. While those two drug addicts are fucking talking, Cassandra and the Kiwi are kissing, and she's asking why he's not attracted to her, and she wants him to be more attracted to her. All right, also, meanwhile, Joe tells Kendall maybe they'll get engaged after this experiment, and she backs way off.
Yeah.
And I have a clip of the conversation.
Well, first, before you get there, let's talk quickly about the Kiwi and Cassandra. There's not a ton, but I did want to talk about the fact that they kiss, and then she says that she feels like they could be best friends, which is insane. And then I was thinking, we've talked about her in the past being a hardwood whore.
Yeah. I love alliteration.
Is that a woman that's a gold digger that sleeps with a guy that plays basketball?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Oh, I like that.
It's a better term than basketball wife, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, definitely more biting.
Not a ton of matrimony in those circles.
I have got to say, I felt bad for the Kiwi because he seems a little oblivious. And I feel like there are a lot of people that go onto that island who are not as wary as they should be. You don't know who you're locking lips with. I mean, this girl Cassandra is not being upfront about the fact that she's been caved out by a ton of NBA basketball players.
And shit out a kid with one of them.
Right.
Never brings up that she's a mother.
I would actually expect Jordan to have been so much savvier, like after hearing tales of him flipping a coin to choose between two women.
Right.
But maybe that wasn't like evil ruthlessness. That was just him being dumb again and just uninformed.
Just like, I'm just trying to be practical.
Well, not to get ahead of ourselves, but I will note
Give him a little bit of credit.
Well, that, and also I'll note that he didn't make the dais on the final episode, interestingly enough.
Well, they kiss, and he says that this is one, he's hoping that this is one step out of the, quote, friend zone.
I did. Speaking of how oblivious he was to these people around him, I love when Robbie showed up and he's like, "What's his jam?" He said "jam," and then, I can't do it. Say it. Say "What's his jam?" in an English in a Kiwi accent.
What's his jam?
What's his jam? That's what I said.
My Kiwi accent is not that great. Joe and Kendall, let's talk about them. You want to talk about them, Pat?
Oh, it's after we know everything that we know, but
Yeah.
I guess we got to stay in with this show.
No, because we do have to be in this present moment and examine this like we're looking in a terrarium, because that's what we are, in fact, doing. Kendall and him sit down and they talk, and
Pat has a clip, as he mentioned.
I get serious. And when I get serious, sometimes you back out. So if I get down on one knee in a couple of days, see what you say.
You're not being serious about it. I can tell by your smile. You're messing with me. You're joking.
You never know. What's up? You good?
Yeah.
Something's wrong.
No. I don't know. Yeah.
Why, what's wrong?
I just want to sleep on it.
Well, what's wrong?
I just feel weird. That's all. Or maybe I'm just tired.
Sleep on it.
Yeah.
Hot take.
Yeah, that's not usual for you. What's up?
Oh, my heart's
A lot of
racing.
pressure.
I don't think this is going to be that hot. Oh, fuck.
No going back now.
All right. She sees that he's joking about this a little bit. A little bit. And I think that she is spinning her wheels because she's unsure about whether or not she wants to go forward with this. She knows that ultimately it's going to come to a head. And she sees this little tiny piece of ammunition that she can use. He's not serious about getting married. And then that is what she chambers to break his heart with.
Well, your whole argument is that then she was never really into this. She was just waiting for a moment to get the fuck out.
Right.
Right.
I agree. I think Kendall is another one of these weird fame-seeking people. So she's like, Joe, he'll stay with me. And
Can I tell you? All right.
Can I ask, was that hot? Was that hot?
That was not hot at all.
That wasn't very
That
hot.
wasn't even lukewarm. That was cold.
As
that was
wha-
like a dead animal or something for 4 days out in the dead of winter.
as one of our baby birds in the Facebook group roasted Patrick, she used the term, that was some ice-cold tea there, Dylan.
Yeah. So let me say this. This is what's odd about Kendall, is she does not fit the mold physically and... No, seriously, as a true narcissist on this show seeking fame. She's the little weirdo that, like, stuffs fur into fucking raccoons for other weirdos.
Ricky.
Yeah, Ricky the raccoon.
You mean, Patrick, you're not into 30-30-30 measurements?
May I continue? Also, she comes off as kind of, I don't know, likable and weird, but deep down inside, we have a true fame-seeking narcissist on our hands here, and it's off-putting, quite
Listen,
frankly.
I don't want to get ahead of myself. We got their breakup to get to, but just such an asshole move on her part to say, you know, clearly there's a change in physicality, clearly there's a change in disposition, and when he says, what's wrong? She says, not sure, gonna go sleep on it.
Oh,
God!
the worst thing
That is just such a dick move!
I hate when anybody does that. The worst thing you can do is to hold someone's heart out, especially, can you imagine, like, I used to, guys, we've been through this. Does the girl like me? Did she like the date? Whatever. Then she doesn't call you, and she was supposed to call you. You're all night long, you're up, all the thoughts running through your fucking head. That must be, like, on steroids what's going through this guy's mind, especially with all the fucking cameras there. Kendall, you're a fucking bitch. And now that we know how this ends, I'm watching you.
Yeah, Kendall.
I'm watching you, Kendall.
You're a huge B, and you know what you did? You put Joe into a word that's used by a lot of the cast members on this island. You put him into a tailspin. But we have to get to the next day. Cocktail ceremony. John v. Dickey. They're going after Olivia, and I have to say, you know, John just has a leg up on everybody because he reads.
Just finished his book that day.
Oh, what a humble brag that was. Oh,
It's not a humble brag. He read.
No.
This is no.
No, he finished his book.
No,
That was the
fuck
humble
off.
brag.
No. I fucking hate this. If you read and you talk about reading, people are like, "Oh, look at this fucking asshole." No.
That's not what I'm arguing. He said he finished his book.
He's been sitting on an island with nothing to do.
Writing.
What are you gonna?
Not reading a book, writing a book.
No, reading a book.
Nick, help me out here.
I think it was a little bit of a humble brag. I don't know why you got to talk about your reading, Dylan. Just read.
Wait, no. Was he... I thought he said he finished writing his book.
No, Jesus Christ. How are you ever going to...
Did you know that the baby birdies chimed in with that footage from last week? At least 3 people said, I thought he said you as opposed to her too.
Those people didn't hear it 8 times in a row, and this
They
You
one...
listened to the
wrong.
podcast to know that it was an argument.
Are you seriously gonna raise your voice right now? You think he's on the island writing his opus? They don't have computers, dummy.
They have a pen and paper. Go to...
You think he's writing a book on pen and paper?
I think he's such a douchebag. He'd probably say, I'm so smart, I just write the book in my fucking brain. I'll
I'm
write it
moving
later.
on.
Finished writing my book would be a real brag, not a humble brag. People misuse the term all the time.
I don't know what-
It's usually like, oh God, I can't have a big lunch because I want to stay under 120 pounds with my perfect body. Like you're complaining, but you're actually just talking about your perfect body.
Yeah.
It's like a humble brag. It was a poor example, but you guys get it.
But we get it. Thank you, Harris Whittles. Rest in peace. Shoo, let's talk about it. She has all of a sudden decided to heed the advice of all the girls who have said numerous times that he is a cocaine-addled scumbag.
Referring to Robbie.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for helping me there. She approaches him and says, like, hey, have you cheated on people before? And he's like, yeah, I have. And he gets a little pissed about that and says, you know what? Watch this. I'm going to get this rose, and then everybody else is going to be on the chopping block. 1, running out of time, buddy. Not going to happen. 2, how would everyone else be on the chopping block? They're all coupled up, and you have no power on this island whatsoever. Your cocaine withdrawals are sending you into a tailspin.
Repeated cocaine use will give you like these delusions of grandeur, like
Right.
you're the most powerful person in the world. Sorry, Robbie.
I call it coke lies. When me and some guys do, when other people I'm in a room with that are doing cocaine and they're talking about all their business ideas
that you didn't know previously.
Yeah, I'm like, I know that's not gonna happen. It's like, hey, we should open up a cupcake store. I heard that's like kind of happening now. I'm like, all right, let's do it tomorrow. And then you call the guy. He's like, I don't know, man, I'm busy.
Yeah. You
Coke
know,
lies.
I used to have this entrepreneurial spirit because I went to school for music business for a while. I had this great idea when I used to get inebriated at night. You take custom playlists and you print them on vinyl. People will pay up the ass for it.
I think there's a lot of red tape that you're not aware of to get these popular singles onto a sellable record, but not a horrible idea.
I'm plainly aware of the red tape. Plainly aware.
Hence
of
why
the
it doesn't
red
exist,
tape.
I guess.
Hey, gentlemen.
you son of a bitch.
All right, look, this is going to sound like I'm defending Robbie for this conversation, and I am not. This guy is a fucking crack douchebag.
Whore, yeah.
Yeah, and so he's a jerk. But when Shu brings up the fact that he's a cheater, and I think she says this thing like, once a cheater, always a cheater, I fucking hate that. Let me throw this out there. If you're in your 20s and you fucking cheat on someone you're dating, that shouldn't be a stigma attached to you for the rest of your fucking existence. If you're 41 and you fucking cheat on your wife, you're a fucking scumbag. Once a cheater, always a cheater. All right, you're a loser. When you're 20, we're all stupid and just having fun. I'm going to give Robbie a pass on that.
So what do you think about Donald Trump then?
So you disagree with Astrid, who says, just like you can't turn a hoe into a housewife, you can't turn a fuckboy into a husband.
Quote of the night.
You disagree with that, though. You think you can turn a fuckboy into a husband, hence you being a husband.
Burn. Just fucking incinerated.
Jesus Christ.
I'm
not talking about me.
That wasn't.
He
don't
was
don't take that
just
to heart.
joking
You talk a
around,
lot about how
Pat.
you used to play.
Come on.
You used to be quite
Pat.
the player.
You're right. I get sensitive.
Come on,
I've been
man.
loyal to my wife, Cherie, mainly because she's black and she'd stab me in the throat while I slept.
Okay, let's get to Joe and Kendall. Everyone on this island is dancing around the fact that Kendall is a little asshole, and what she did to Joe the other night was not right. She gives Joe the silent treatment and then sits down with him that night. She feeds him a line of bullshit.
Robbie just perked up. Line?
She feeds him a bump of bullshit and says that she's concerned that he's not serious enough.
I'm sorry.
She has the gall to tell him that she's not sure about how he feels about her.
How do you not know how I feel? I spend every day with you.
Every single day, he's been asked on dates, and the first word out of my mouth is Kendall. You know what? We may have not given him enough credit because she tries to pull some mental gymnastics on him, and he dips, dives, ducks, dodges, and dips. All of it. And destroys her. None of this is working on him because he is a simpleton. He's boiling it down to the base root.
My issue with this mainly is I also think he was being kind of a gentleman about it because he wasn't like yelling and I'd be throwing shit. And he was just, sharing his feelings with her. I don't like that she placed blame on him for this. Just own it. You're not into him. He's not Ari. He's not the next Bachelor. He's not some movie star because that's what she's chasing. And what she's doing is completely manipulative. And if a guy was doing this, we'd call her a pig. But after he leaves and then she decides to leave, she's rewarded by a bunch of people like hugging her and consoling her. I was disgusted by that. If a guy fucking did that, we'd be like, what a fucking jerk. Get the fuck out of here.
What we said about Eric, we called him a fucking asshole and we called him stupid. And it's so, what is underneath all of this is this this root problem with this show. I feel a little bit of sympathy for Kendall because this is what happens. You go on this show, you buy into the process, and you string somebody along for weeks and weeks and weeks. And when it comes to the end, you have to do your best to search for a way out of it. And you come across as a fucking asshole, even though that's what you're supposed to do to stay on the show.
I have a hot take.
Watch and learn, Dylan.
Okay. So I think Kendall, being the little horny player that she is, I think she was hoping that once Grocer Joe left and she told the group, they weren't just already preemptively hugging her because they were like, oh, well, you got to be leaving too. I think that little hoe was thinking like, no, I'm staying. I'm staying.
Why didn't she stay then?
Well, because everyone was hugging her saying goodbye. I think the math was there. Like, there's no one, you can't stay here and party, you little weirdo. You got to get in the fucking limo and cry or something.
I don't think she was.
You're going to have to wait till you leave Paradise to have another 70s key party.
Oh, yeah, the key party was...
It was brought up because he thinks Kendall's such a hoe.
Got it.
Kendall's a hoe.
Oh, I hated that. Okay, she drives off and is very, very heartbroken.
And feeds us some more bullshit.
He's just like such an amazing person. Around him, everything was just like playful and fun. And I love taking care of him because, oh my God. It's so hard. I'm gonna leave feeling regret. It wasn't enough. And like, it sucks to know that it could have been more. It was like the last minute that I had to hear all this stuff and I don't know how to process it. Like, I don't know how to feel about it. I just want to see him again. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and he's not gonna be there and it's just gonna like really hurt.
All right, I'm going to go on a rant here.
Step back, Nick, baby.
Step back, baby birdies. Everybody take the ear. If the earbuds are in, just take them out and you'll hear my voice.
To avoid Patrick's yelling, skip ahead 52 seconds.
Hey, Kendall. You fucking little manipulative fucking piggy wicky. This fucking guy told you in 2 different fucking conversations he's all in. He wants to get down on one fucking knee after this experiment ends. He's being real with you. You fucking double back. I don't know. I gotta sleep on it. I don't know. It's all on fucking camera the entire fucking time. Then you fucking tell him, hey, it's not gonna work. You leave him. You dump him. And your reason is he's never shared his feelings with you or expressed his feelings with you. But the entire time, this entire episode and every episode before it, he's sharing his feelings. And now you're crying in a limo, exiting, and you have the gall to still place blame on this poor simpleton. Fuck you!
Well, I think that about covered it. You want to get to the rose ceremony?
Yeah.
All right, we got a roll call coming up.
Oh, yes, we do, sir. Now, do you want the roll call on the couple? Hey, all right, here, can I do a roll call? I'll do a different roll call.
I have no fucking idea where you're...
Roll call! There's a bunch of couples. They're all coupled up. There's only fucking 2 people up for grabs. Asian John and fucking Diggy, and Olivia's going to pull the trigger on it.
Got it. I guess we didn't need a roll call. Diggy goes home, and man, I think that trumpeteer thing is so funny.
That trumpeteer thing was hilarious. They just really twisted that knife. But hey, Diggy, here's why you invest in your education and not high tops.
Boom.
I like that, but let me attack the producers of the show again. If Diggy had started his episode 5 episodes back with a trumpeter in it or something, and it had been an ongoing gag, that might be funnier. But by the fact that it was just a random trumpeter on
like a lot
one
of
date,
trumpet.
now
Yeah.
this seems like it's a thing. It's not a thing. Hey, producers, it's not a thing.
Yeah, well, what else is Diggy going to do? All right, last thing before we get to the next morning is, again, looking through the lens of Jenna's sociopathic fucking biatch. Last thing, looking through the lens of Jenna's sociopathy, she says that she feels very lucky to call Jordan her man. Every word she utters, I hate her more and more. Let's get to the next morning. Everyone's eating breakfast, and Kevin tells us his breakfast order. Did you catch this?
What's that?
Did you catch Kevin's breakfast order?
Oh, yes, actually I did. I did catch Kevin's breakfast order. 8 eggs.
Yep.
An entire bell pepper.
Yep.
Chicken and bacon.
Keto!
Gentlemen, can I tell you what I read when I heard that meal order? He's continuing to get fat, and when you're a guy dating a girl and you allow yourself to put on some weight, you're no longer into her.
Or you truly love her.
Now, it's Dylan, I like where your mind's at, but you get fat in a relationship when you're comfortable with each other after like 6 months or a year, not 2 weeks, dude. You got to still be dropping the weights, because when you're fucking, you want to look good in the mirror.
See, Patrick is...
Wait. Hang on 1 second. When you're fucking, you want to look good in the mirror.
Correct.
Is what you just said.
Yeah.
Do
Or
you
on your
often-
iPhone.
All right, I'm going to move on.
Yeah, he's like Christian Bale in the mirror in American Psycho. Just like, oh, yeah, look good. But
Thanks,
see,
Nick.
Huey Lewis in the news.
this is what I disagree with. Kevin is not gaining weight. That's a healthy meal. Patrick is not a believer in the low carb, high fat,
I'm not
much
a
protein.
believer in that either. It's insane to have 8 eggs. It's just insane to have 8 eggs. It's too many eggs.
You're trying to keep those biceps, eat all the eggs you want. You ever seen Gaston? Just pops them in his mouth like
Skittles.
I was thinking Tic Tacs.
Oh, got it. Hey, let's move on to Chris Shitface Harrison stepping in and saying tomorrow is the last night in Paradiso. So, it is time to fuck.
Dylan, I'm confused by this. Okay, so the premise of this is, if I'm right, is okay. Right now, you need to make the decision. It's not only the fuck room, the private fantasy suite that is insinuated you guys will have sex, but that means the next day you need to get on a platform in front of cameras and propose.
Yeah.
Okay, because I would say in most cases, most of the people are like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, we'll go up. I mean, we may not fuck or whatever, but because one of the chicks is on her period or something, but they'll at least take the free fucking hotel room. I mean, it's an island. You've been half naked. You've been drinking. That is a fucking recipe for fucking. Isn't like the fucking daybed the fucking fantasy suite the last 2
God
weeks?
damn.
Camille-
No Pinot Grigio at all, and he still sounds like this.
Camille took a page right out of his playbook, though, because he took that fantasy suite and he didn't give a ring.
I love how Camille was like kind of in 2 camps. He was like, I just don't know what I'm going to do. You know, I'm torn. And she's like, you ready for the fantasy suite? And he's like, absolutely. But first, let's talk about John, who needs to sit down with Olivia. Kind of a gentleman. Says, not ready. Don't think we know each other well enough. Let's not. And they leave together.
I didn't like his move where he had to preemptively dump her or whatever that fucking was.
It was euthanasia, yeah.
I don't like it. That's
Euthanasian
power.
John.
That's John is so calculated. He could not allow her to say, "Hey, I don't want to do this." He had to, as a quote unquote gentleman, had to do a preemptive strike with dumping her first, which is essentially what this was.
Well,
fuck you, Asian John. You know you'd love to plow her.
And I don't know what you're talking about, youth. He's an adult Asian.
You know who doesn't break up with somebody as deftly as John does? The Kiwi.
He ripped the Band-Aid off.
Play the clip.
This is my time that I set aside to like devote to dating and, forming relationships.
I think we gave it a great shot.
So you don't think if that we had more time that things would be different?
No.
The fucking ocean noise ravaged that clip, but that no was so deadpanned.
I mean, I was thinking, well, first, this is the best part of the episode. This is hands down the best part of the episode. Maybe I wasn't giving him enough credit. Maybe he did know that she was a hardwood hooer.
No, I have a hot take. Nah, it's a theory. I'm going to back that off. I'm gonna take this down a notch to just a theory. Cassandra, I think, sends mixed messages. This was what happened with the Eric Bigger, or whatever his name is, guy.
Bigger.
I think she, on camera, says certain things, and then when the camera's on around or the mics are off, she's telling these guys a different story. Because this Kiwi seemed to actually hate her on a certain level. With those two answers, like he's spoken past tense when she prompted him of what the future might bring. And then he also gave a no, kind of like fuck off. And then Eric Bigger dumped her too when that dumping made no sense because on camera, it seemed like she was like, I need more from you. But I bet that's my whole theory.
Agreed. There's something inherently unlikable about her because there's no reason Eric wouldn't tap that if she was tolerable.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's weird because earlier on in the episode when she's like, come on, make a move, he seems exhausted by her. He's like, you want me to make a move?
That's right. She prompts him, yeah.
All right.
I'd rather eat my ice cream. That wasn't that bad.
Yeah. Okay, let's get to... We can throw away Crystal and Goose and Jordan and Jenna. They're obviously going to be together, even though Jenna has a boyfriend. It's so tough to out-crazy Crystal, but Jenna does it fucking easily.
The Witch and Robbie have to settle their hash here.
Oh, shocker. Yeah, they don't work out. And Robbie, who professed that everyone was going to be on the chopping block tomorrow, doesn't really get to chop anybody.
Now, they set up that while they will not be in the fuck room, they will have dinner in Utah at some later date. And we find out what happens with that later.
Yeah, we do. All right, let's get to the breakup that sent shockwaves throughout the island. Kevin and Astrid. Bounty, have a clip.
Yes, I do, sir.
They're not even things that are wrong. It's just things that are in the pit of my stomach.
You breaking up with me?
I'm sorry.
I don't even know what to say. I'm like mind boggled.
I feel like if I don't give you 100%, I'm a piece of If I give up at 80%, I'm a piece of It's like I'm not ever just content.
He is so gross here. He's never looked more bloated, or he's got spit on both sides stuck in the side of his fucking lips. Maybe it was a bad angle on his face, or maybe it's just that I don't think we have this in the clip, but he brought up Ashley I again, and he talks about again, it's not in the clip, but he talks about I got asked to a fantasy sweep during the Winter Games season, and we all know how that went, and that just broke my heart. So when I heard fantasy suites, I was like, it just made me really question our relationship. Wow. Spoken like a true TV fucking...
I don't even know how to unpack this, melodrama.
It's very reminiscent of the Kendall situation. He's the one that does the breaking up under the guise of being afraid and unsure. No, you don't want to be with... The only thing I will give him, he's a step above Kendall, is because, you hate that he brought up the fantasy suites. He has been through the process 2 times. Maybe there's something in his mind where he doesn't want to end up in a fantasy suite for a 3rd time and then just to be broken up with later.
Yeah.
Maybe a little possible, but still, I don't like when you do the breaking up and you're the one end up crying. It was kind of reminiscent of how Ross and Friends didn't want to get divorced for the 3rd time.
I was just thinking about that.
I was too.
I was like, totally.
I've never seen an episode of Friends, and I never will. I'll never see a fucking episode of Sons of Anarchy. I just never will. Just stop.
Please don't put those in the same ballpark.
And Homeland. Stop telling me I should watch that.
Very wrong.
All right, Nick, I'm with you on that theory. However, he's been with this chick for 2 weeks, and suddenly the word fantasy suite triggers. I mean, he's had 3 or 4 months to kind of work this through his brain. He did show up on another reality TV show. I'm pretty sure he did his research. There is a fantasy suite at the conclusion of it. If you're so triggered by the word fantasy suite, do some research. It's on Wiki. It's called Bachelor or something.
I'm with you. I don't understand how you could put this much weight into anything that happens on that island. Anything. All of this is not important. It's all manufactured. You should see where things go and get off the island. So what? You guys have sex. You've been on the fucking island for like a month now, a couple weeks. What is the problem with two consenting adults having sex with each other? Like you said, at the very least, you get to go to a hotel and have a nice hot shower.
Champagne, chocolate. Hey, all right, I'm gonna go off on a
Sausage.
complete wild tangent here, but hear me out for a second. Getting ahead of myself, it was announced today that Grocer Joe is going to be the next dancer on Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I love because our Bachelorette. That should be reserved for her spot, Becca Kaufman. But she's too homely, and America hated her, so she won't be on Dancing with the Stars.
Can I just say real quick, he is stewing because you mispronounced her last name.
I'm not stewing. I just like
What
it's
is
like
it?
it's like, do you address it? Do you not? It's Becca Kufrin.
Who gives a fuck? She's not on Dancing with the Stars. Good luck swimming in the abyss of no one knowing your fucking name. I've been doing a podcast about you for 2 fucking seasons. I can't say your last name. What's that really say about you other than I'm stupid? All right, let me finish my point. Let me finish my point. Grocer Joe has been chosen to be on Dancing with the Stars. Somehow, the powers that be realized that America likes this guy. And then it made me think of this chick that was on America's Got Talent 10 years ago, this fat woman who basically took care of her mother that sang great. I can't think of her name, but the baby birds will figure this out. She sang beautifully.
Are you talking about Susan Boyle?
Yes! And she became a huge star. And she was on America's Got Talent with all these young people dancing and all these fucking people singing, young people shit. Anyway,
And?
America loved her because she was real. My main point is here is maybe what we're doing is we're saying like America likes real people, not these narcissists that we cast on this. So whenever you're being real, it actually resonates with people that, holy shit, this person's real. I like that. I want to see them more. And that's what Joe the Grocer represents to us. Sorry, it took a long way to get there, but that's my fucking point.
But I still have no idea how that has anything to do with Kevin and Astrid.
Because Kevin is not being real.
He's
it's
a
this
narcissist.
put on.
Okay, got it.
But
got it.
one more thing about this, and apologies if this is too much, but I got a hot take I just formulated.
Oh my God.
When he had his breakfast, he ordered his breakfast. He was like all excited. He's like, yeah, 8 eggs.
Didn't get it.
He didn't get it. They had to go to Chris Harrison, and then they had to go and talk about their faces. This guy was starving.
This is what happens when you develop an unhealthy addiction to yolk. He's eating too many eggs and he can't make decisions. God forbid he forgets to go to the grocery store and he can only have 2 eggs in the morning.
Dude,
God help the children who are burning in those homes in Canada.
savvy move by Bachelor production. They were like, okay, he just ordered. Chris, come out. We're gonna end it. We're gonna end the island.
I now understand what you're talking about, and you agree with me, I think. Just go to the hotel room. You don't have to have sex. Nothing is this serious. Just take a chill pill, which is what Astrid says. Now,
Do you want to come to my hotel?
we have discussed, we're going to be doing another episode coming up very, very shortly about the culmination of the season of Bachelor in Paradise, where
Paradise.
it is revealed that these two are together. I am not rooting for them at all. Not because I don't want to see love blossom, but because, and this is not a hot take, but I think it's going to be something that a lot of people can get behind. Give me Astrid as the Bachelorette.
Oh, I like that.
Give me Astrid. 1,000%. She is one of the best contestants we've seen in a long time. I think she would be perfect.
Going
as
back
the
to your theory,
Bachelorette.
I think she's been real as fuck the whole
Real
time.
as
Me too.
Talking about
Agree.
other contestants, talking about her own relationship, just being real.
She is drop dead gorgeous. She's cool. She's funny. She's real. I think she would handle fucking fuckboy idiots so perfectly, and I think she would be a wonderful Bachelorette.
Hey, Nick, start a hashtag. Astrid for the next Bachelorette says another Bachelor podcast.
I mean,
These don't fit well on t-shirts, but they are catchy.
you're a fucking factory.
I will say, the cruel irony of this is because she's so real, she's not just looking for the fame. She's going to try to make this work for Kevin.
I really hope
Hopefully it
not.
lasts less than a year.
I'm going to have to disagree with you there, Nick. Apparently, though, Astrid is kind of looking for some Instagram fame because she said, well...
being real as fuck about
it. She was showing us how the sausage is made.
And then she got 100,000 more followers the next day.
Good. I want her to get all the followers she can.
But she didn't hide the fact. She's like, yeah, I want more ad money.
All right, let's get to the fantasy suites. There are 3 couples that go. The Goose and Crystal talk about what they bond over. That is fractured emotional foundations due to bad parenting. Annalise says Camille could be getting down on one knee tomorrow, but that she's a few steps ahead of that. How far ahead of that could you possibly be? How far ahead of that could you possibly be, Annalise? You are... Who is more psychotic, Annalise or Jenna?
Annalise, for sure. Well,
I think
Wait,
Jenna.
what do you mean by psychotic?
yeah, psychotic takes on a different connotation.
I mean, there are lots of varying degrees,
Anna-
shapes, and sizes. Who is crazier, Annalise or Jenna?
Oh, all right. Annalise is more crazy because Jenna's more cunning and manipulative. Because she actually says to Jordan that she thinks God sent him to her. Or she at least says that on camera, which means bitch is evil.
I don't think you're gonna find desperation in the DSM-4, but you will find sociopathy. So I'm actually just changing my mind in real time. I'm gonna have to agree with you, Dylan.
Absolutely, Jenna is 1,000% crazier.
Are we up to
than Jenna.
DSM-5 now?
I don't know what this acronym is.
Can I say this? Although Annalise is insane, and we've seen, maybe it's because we saw her fall in love with 3 different guys. But Camille, he's playing with her heart too, or America.
Camille is a
He says
douchebag.
he's falling in love with her at some point. So why wouldn't she be eating all this up? Like if we saw him kind of like acting like he's not into it, and she's still like, honey, where are we gonna pick out our wedding?
A girl
ceremony?
who wasn't insane would be able to sniff that out. I don't think Astrid would put up with Camille's bullshit for 1 second. She would know that he's faking it, and she would know that he just wants the vagine flesh.
We are on the DSM-5, and the DSM is the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Psychiatric Disorders, published frequently by the American Psychiatric Association.
Got it.
You know,
There should be a couple pages in there. Bound just for this fucking crazy bitch Jenna. I truly believe that she's worse than Hitler.
From a Jew, no less.
I think the episode ends here or something, doesn't it?
Yeah, something like that. Jordan and Jenna, just really quickly, she says that she's been praying for somebody like him, and then she says that she loves him. I mean, I honestly don't think that there's any point in having her continue to exist as a human being. And I'm not saying that she needs to die, but like kind of like a Thanos type death where you just like kind of, float into, oblivion. It's just painless and you just become space dust. I would have no problem with that happening to her.
Would you have sex with her though if you could?
I'm in a committed marriage.
Well, if you were.
I have a wife.
But
Hence
if
the
you-
hypothetical,
it's a
sir.
hypothetical.
I got a wife, guys.
No. Nick, you'd have sex with the evil.
I don't know which one. I'd have sex with anybody on this island.
Yeah. I'm married. I mean, hypothetically, I'd love to have sex with.
Hypothetically, yes, I would have sex with Jenna if she'd let me.
Yeah, she'd probably be like 4 among those women.
Well, there you go.
Kind of petering out to end the season.
Now we got one more episode in us, baby.
Oh, yeah. Finish strong. I'm going to get some rest and some fluids.
Yeah, it's time to go. I got to get out of this studio. Nick's sick. I've been here for way too long next to this sicko. You know who else is a sicko? Crystal. I don't know what she was doing with that feather and that blindfold, but we got to get on out of this episode. We'll be back very, very soon to recap all the things that happened in the culmination of this here season. Guys, Facebook group. God, it's so sad that we're going to be saying goodbye to you guys for a while, but not that long. Join us there, facebook.com/group/Another Bachelor Podcast. Instagram, where?
Another Bachelor Podcast.
And jump in the iTunes ratings and reviews. Leave 5 stars, not 4, 3, 2, 1. If you're going to leave 1, 2, 3, 4, wear a name tag. Pat,
Yeah.
you ready to say goodbye?
Oh yeah. Goodbye, guys.
I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Nick, you say goodbye.
Goodbye.